Xbox, record this is a podcast celebrating all things gaming, food, and the good old days. If you'd like to find out more, head to xboxrecordthis.com. Oh, hello. DaddyDWALLY here, and welcome to Xbox Record This, episode 49. Morden is Chance's homeboy. Joining me, as always, is the assistant to the co-host, Chipotle Bear. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing great tonight, man. It's we're recording a little late this week because it's just busy spring season for all of us. And as luck would have it, our friend Claire is in town. You guys remember Claire from the wedding? She was the cat in the hat at our wedding. She's from Ohio, professor out there, which has been great hanging out with her. We went to Boulder today, Dan's old stomping grounds, which we'll get to talk more about too when we get to the best food I ate this week. But it's been great, man. It's the spring is going to be busy. Like it's going to be a busy spring. So excited to celebrate some milestones for XRT and to get to the end of the school year into summer, baby. Excited.
Yeah, absolutely. And joining us, as always, the assistant to the co-host, Bubble Boy and Seven. How are you?
I'm great. I'm rested, relaxed, happy to be here. I took like 90% of this last week off, it felt like. So
Speaking of being rested and relaxed, guys, big news over here at the DaddyDWALLY household. I've been blessed. I don't know if I should say that.
yeah. What he was gonna say is Halo 3, he loved the last episode. It was great. Say no more, because I'd like to continue doing this show.
Here's the thing, you guys.
He's done.
I have been blessed. My wife has decided to take herself and our kids for 2.5 weeks to Pennsylvania to visit her parents and to visit family. And I'm here home alone, you guys, and it has been an amazing 3 days so far. And before you ask, I offered to go with them. I said, why don't you just go on a weekend? We can go in the summer. You know, I gave her all these other options. She's like, no, I just really need to go now. I want to see my grandma and grandpa. They're getting older and I want to take the kids. I can work from home. And I'm like, Allie, I can't take 2 weeks off and I can't work from home for 2 weeks. So she decided to go. So I dropped them off at the airport. They had an 8 o'clock flight. It was delayed an hour, Denver time, but brought it back to 8:12. Southwest coming in the clutch. They land there at like 1 a.m. I guess Grayson slept 4 hours and was up at 8 a.m. the next day, just excited to go. So
Oh yeah.
not much sleep, but apparently they were great on the plane, and I knew they would be. Our kids are excited and good about traveling. So I've been eating a lot of food. I've been resting. I feel fantastic. We'll talk more about this later. But
Yeah,
I did
how are
offer.
you gonna choose your best food of the week? I don't even.
Oh, I have one, and you're gonna like it, Chance. If I don't want to spoil it, but I will be flying out there next week. Though I am going for Easter weekend, so I'll be out of town, and we're gonna record episode 50 a little bit earlier. But I don't want to spoil that. Let's move on to shoutouts, guys, and we got a lot of them. XRT is popping off this week, so let's start with shoutout number one from Xbox Record This superfan Jay Bizzle. Jay Bizzle writes in, hello. Oh wait, sorry, I skipped.
I was gonna say, I don't see that one anywhere.
I figured I should actually end. Sorry, I put him in the wrong order. Let's do Jay Biz.
I don't even
Oh,
see
it's
Jay
you're
Biz.
right. Oh, sorry.
Did
Jay
you
Biz,
not
sorry.
refresh?
Oh no, no. It's just I thought I was talking about something, so I'm a little confused. So let's start with Felix first, and he is an Xbox super fan. He says, "Hey guys, congratulations on 50 episodes coming up. Just wanted to share my best food of the week. I tried a fairly new place in the Green Mountain area called Coyote Table Artisan Kitchen and Bar. I had their number 2, the pepperoni, jalapeno, and onion pizza. I give it about 5 stars and recommend it to you guys if you haven't tried it. I don't know if you guys have ever had, what is that? Piology pizza?
Pyology.
Pyology. Sorry, Pyology
Pyology.
Pizzeria. When I was at the store at the Colorado Mills area, when it was there at the Colorado Mills area, but the pizzas are very similar. That was one of my favorite places until they closed it. Thank you so much. Felix. So shout out to Felix. Felix, I have not tried this pizza place, but I just want to let these guys know this is a pizza place that opened right off of Morrison and Bear Creek Boulevard. You know where that KinderCare is and that gas station, that Subway that's still there, by the way.
Right next to Guido's, like where Guido's was
Well,
at.
yes, yeah, exactly, right where it was. And I gotta say, the picture he sent looked phenomenal, and I'm gonna have to try it out. A delicious
Have
pizza
you?
place. Jose,
Did you
go
try
ahead.
Biology when it was out by Mills too?
No, I never heard of it. So obviously, I never heard of it
It's
because I
like
didn't read it correctly.
it's trying to emulate what Chipotle is, but in a pizza world. So it's kind of like a Chipotle line, and they make them pretty quickly right there in front of you with their personal pan pizzas. They're really good. There's actually, I think, still one downtown by like the Denver Art Museum as well, and it's really good pizza. So Felix, thanks for the shout out, but I'll take it. I'll check it out. That's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. We should go there sometime, Felix. Maybe me and you and your boy, and I can take Grayson. That sounds like a great idea. So shout out to XRT fan Felix Tuesta. And then here's the next big shout out. And Chance, would you like to read this one, or do you want me to read it?
Sure. Yeah, I'll go ahead.
Go ahead.
This comes all the way from our PlayStation fan base, because we have a massive PlayStation fan base as well. Hello. I don't even own an Xbox, but I'm a fan of the show, especially that strange but lovable guy, Bubble Boy. Thanks, Eric. So I finally finished Elden Ring last night. I did the Ronnie ending, which was interesting, though the cutscene was fairly short and honestly underwhelming. I guess I should expect that from Software. Ooh, shots fired. But I watched the other endings on YouTube today and was really disappointed. The Frenzied Flame ending was okay, but the others were basically just exactly the same as each other, but with different lighting and one or two words changed. How do you build a world that massive and then have a handful of 3-sentence endings that are basically the same? And I'm going to stop it right there because I had thought the same thing after, getting my 1,000 out of 1,000 and doing 3 of the 6 endings. And I never made this comparison. But then Eric went on to make this comparison. And I was just like, oh
And
my God, you're right.
let me just stop you right there. There's 6 endings? There's 6
Yes.
possible endings?
Yep.
I thought there was
gosh.
3.
There's 3 for the 1,000 out of 1,000, but there's 6 total.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
yeah, I can't wait. So great point, and then let's jump into the even better
Yeah.
point.
So then his point in all of that was, remember when Mass Effect 3 caught all that flack for having just 3 different colored endings? Elden Ring was great, but those endings score about a 2 out of 10. Just wanted to throw some thoughts out there for discussion fodder. Keep up the great work. And like I said, I as soon as he wrote that to me the other day, I was like, oh my God, you got to send that into the show. Like, I had never thought of that. I have not heard one negative comment on the endings. Not even like they could have nothing, just nothing but praise. And he's absolutely right. How was that any different than some of those Mass Effect endings?
I have some thoughts here, Chance. So first of all, I will say the main reason why I don't think anyone's complaining about it is because you play these games for the gameplay loop and beating the bosses. And to be honest, the story was caca. And everyone's like, if this story is caca, I'm not going to care about the endings, right? Chipotle
He's absolutely right.
So they're like, there's no investment in the story. If you don't have characters that you care about, who cares what happens? Nobody cares. And then I am not one of the people who hated on the Mass Effect 3 endings. I think they're great.
No,
I think
no,
3 ends phenomenally. I hate that they changed it. We've had this discussion.
Yep.
3 as a whole game was like the best ending ever to that trilogy. And here's
And I don't
where I think
Eric's saying that. I think he's saying, how come it got so much heat when these didn't?
And I'll say that's what I was going to say is that I think the difference with Mass Effect is that these were choices that you had been making that were carrying over from 1 to 2 to 3, and they were expecting this huge payoff. And for me, I felt like it paid off fine. I just think that's the main argument. It's like you're making all these choices, they're expecting this big thing at the end, and it was like such a huge investment. Whereas Elden Ring is a single game with a horrible story, and nobody knows what's going on. Like, and let's be honest. Do any of you guys remember anything? I only remember Ronnie because you had to deal with her. Other than that, I know nothing about Elden Ring. So, Bubble Boy, give me your thoughts on the whole Mass Effect game.
I remember thinking when I first met EG and the Pope turtle, that I was like, this actually, there is some story happening and I can kind of feel it. And I remember even on this show telling you guys, just you wait, it'll come. And then it, of course, all fizzled out and nothing. And I hear you, I hear what you're saying, but like, just considering the way message boards are, I'm shocked that was, agree or disagree, or regardless of why, I'm shocked that was the first time I heard that kind of a comparison.
No, I completely agree. I think the endings are trash, and I feel like Mass Effect got hit on way too hard by the internet. But I was gonna ask you, Chance, have any of the from software games have any good endings, like, or anything that was
Well,
worth it to you?
yeah, I mean Sekiro, the final boss in Sekiro is still the hardest that I've ever beaten, I think. And I don't remember exactly like what the sequence of events were, but I remember being extremely satisfied and not thinking like, oh, what? But there weren't six different endings to Sekiro. It was one boss. I don't think there were separate endings. Someone maybe look that up. To my knowledge, there weren't. And um, so I did, like I said, there's six, and Daniel and I both did the Elden Lord, the Ronnie, and then the Frenzied Flame. And yeah, the Frenzied Flame one looked kind of cool, and it gave you some cool screenshots. No idea why it was or what it was or where did this
the
flaming finger
door.
come from? What were
I don't
those
know.
tattoo scar things? Why did my head disappear? It just none of it made any sense to me. And then the Elden Lord one, as much
I
as
don't even
like
know it. I didn't
you
even see it.
just
I
sit
just
on the
pressed.
throne. Yeah, you literally just that's
That's
all
the
it
one I
is.
did.
Yeah, it's just him sitting, your character sitting there at the
I,
end.
I was just gonna say the thing I remember most from the endings is getting down to get to the frenzied flame ending because I nailed it on my first try. Chance, you know
Oh
how you have to
bullshit!
get down.
No,
I
you
swear on my
no.
hear me out, hear me out. Yes, I did on my Xbox run, but then on my PS5 run that I'm doing right now, I've died like 30 times. It's been awful, just
Good.
terrible.
We talked about that. We were looking at each other. We're like, "Who's going to admit it first?" When we were talking,
I swear I got it.
where
I
I was like, "That
swear.
might have been the hardest part of the game." He's, "Oh yes, thank you for
Yep.
saying that because I think it was." How?
Chipotle Bear.
How did you
I
accidentally do
watched
that?
the video. I watched PowerPix's video, and I just mimicked it perfect. It was pure luck. Jose, give us your closing thoughts on the whole endings thing.
I don't have a whole lot to add except a couple things I think might be the reason why we haven't heard as much criticism about the endings is I still think there's a healthy amount of people who have not beaten the game. I really genuinely mean
Yeah,
that
yeah,
because
that's fair.
the truth is if I wasn't using any guides, there's no way in hell that I would be anywhere near the end, like not even close. That's a big piece of it. And I know that obviously the people who make the tutorials, they probably have beaten it, and a lot of the pundits have probably also beaten it. But again, I think that they were so overwhelmed by how good the game was that they kind of just let it slide. Here's the other part that I'm not just trying to blindly defend From Software, but it's the reality because they built this game that's really not linear. It's not linear in any way. Like it's just not. Like you can tackle it any way you want. It's very, 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 very difficult to build a cohesive story in a world like that. It's just not. I mean, because especially like it's not like the bosses know each other. They don't have interactions with each
Skyrim.
other. Oh, you're right, but Skyrim is one game out of literally hundreds, thousands that are out there that can do that. So I'm not knocking them. Maybe it's something they'll work on more of now that they got so much success from this. Maybe they'll do a sequel that is more cohesive. I don't know, but I really did enjoy the game. I was really glad that I finally got to beat it. Thanks, shout out to DaddyDWALLY for helping me finally take down the Elden Beast. And I didn't think the ending was great. Like Elden Lord, I was like, cool, I did it. I was mostly just excited that I could start playing some other stuff. And now I'm sure if I went back and played it, I could get back into it. But all of my timing is off. All of my controls are off because of other stuff. So, I still enjoyed it for what it was. To get literally 60 hours worth of supreme fun and challenge out of the game is incredible. Like it's a very hard feat to do. So
Yeah.
overall, thank you to them. Your stories could it could use some development in the future, but otherwise everything else was pretty solid.
So thank you, Eric, for that phenomenal question. You need to write in often, Eric, our resident PlayStation fan. And speaking of PlayStation, Eric, I gotta say, the DualSense controller battery sucks. Sucks. Terrible. I was telling these guys after I play for like 5 hours, I have to charge it. It's already low. And I'm playing with no vibration and none of the fancy haptic feedback vibration or whatever it is. Pathetic. Get it out of here. Let's
Can you
move
plug
on.
it in though? Can you play it with plugged in?
Well, yeah, but what's the point? I don't want to play with the plugged-in
I'm just
controller.
asking. That's just
Yes,
asking.
you can do that, but it's caca. The elite, those two elite series too behind me. I don't have to charge those for a very, very, very long time. Just
No,
saying.
God, they have like 40-hour. I think you could probably Jose would have had one charge to beat all of Elden Ring.
Yeah, for all of Elden. And guys, by the way, Eric, back me up on this. What is the point of the touchpad? Just get rid of it. It's just an unnecessarily gargantuan. You're telling me, Eric, that you're swiping your finger on there, typing stuff in. Give me a break. Let's move on to the next segment, guys. We're calling this one warm up. You know what? I'm going to talk to you guys about this off the air, but I got a new idea for how we're going to warm up and open the show. But let's jump into it. Halo TV series. Did you guys watch episodes 2 and 3? Excellent, Lo. So we got to jump into it. I'm going to say right off the bat, quick impressions. I thought 2 was caca. Didn't like it at all. Hold on, Chance. I'll get to you. And then I loved 3. As soon as they bring in spoiler warning, spoiler warning, spoiler warning, spoiler. Watch the TV show. Spoiler warning. Eric, go watch it. As soon as they brought in Jen, what's her name? Cortana's voice. I can't remember. I just looked it up. I was like, I'm on board. This immediately like knocked it up a bunch to the Halo hype level and the feeling of Halo. So, Bubble Boy, talk to me about your thoughts on episode 2. I don't even remember. He talks to his own friend and
Jen Taylor.
That's it.
Is her name.
That's it, Jen Taylor,
Well,
yeah.
no, this is Bubble Boy's got to eat his words. He's got to stick his foot in his mouth and eat his words because I literally.
At least their little feet.
Yeah, thanks for that, Chapo. I loved it. I stopped episode 1 literally right when it got good. So that opening battle, I know Jose and Dan both had some good impressions with it. I thought it was pure caca. After that, it just got so good. It was amazing. And it answered for me why Steve Downs wasn't the voice. Like, if he wasn't ever going to unmask, yeah, Steve Downs could have done it. But obviously with Liv Schreiber being the Master Chief, like, that would have just been weird.
No. That's not his name.
Pablo Schreiber.
Pablo Schreiber.
Oh, his brother's Liev. Sorry. So I like, man, 180 for me. I will eat crow, I guess. Is that the term?
Yeah.
Like,
Can you tell me why you enjoyed episode 2? Let's jump into that.
So I liked the story with the other Spartan that he, and I forget is it Sermon?
That was cool.
Is that his name?
That
I
was
thought
cool when I
was
showed him
really
younger.
cool.
Soren, and it's 66. He's number 66.
So
Spartan
I
66.
thought that was really cool. I do like a little bit of the world building that you don't get to see in the video games because those were places we never saw in any of the games. That compound is certainly something I've read about in the books, and so it was kind of cool to see a little bit more of that. And I do kind of like the dynamic of that, the girl being with Sermon. Is that what you said his name was? Why can't I remember? Soren. Jeez. With the Asian girl that he rescued, right? Because I think with Soren and the girl, they both like have reasons to not really trust John, but they also both know they need to. And same with John. Like, John was supposed to kill her and he was supposed to kill him, but yeah, that he still trusts both of them.
That's the only one. Yeah.
I just think it's kind of cool, and I didn't not like it. I think I was still kind of, I watched it right after I finished 1, so I was still kind of like amped up from thinking it was worth my time again.
Better. Gotcha. Jose, quickly, let's get your impressions of 2, and then we'll go back to Chance for what you liked on 3 or disliked or whatever, and then we'll come back. You can tell me 2 and 3, actually, Jose. Give me your thoughts.
Okay, that's good. So I really liked 2. Now, not as much as 1 because I'm obviously the action. Like, we love the action. That's what we're here for because it's mimicking the games and stuff. But the reality is, and I think it was a brilliant move, is you're going to have to build a real story if you want people to watch. Like, the action is great, but if literally every episode was action and then the same action and then the same action, by episode 4, we're going to be like, yeah, I know what's going to happen. They're going to come in and they're going to break down the door and they're going to throw bombs and they're going to win, right? So I love that they took a step back and they're going to build this world. I think it was really, they did a great job with the human side of Soren, where he, like, the reason why he defected is because he got mutilated. The one thing I will think that was hilarious was I think the makeup on his hand reminded me of something out of Total Recall from like 1980. Like, I was like, come on, man, you tell me with like $200 million you couldn't get a little bit better on some of that. I also like that actor a lot. The only movie I can remember him from is The Big Hit, which was hilarious, a Marky Mark movie in like the 90s. But I like the world building. I liked what they were doing with like the mystery of the artifact, where like there was kind of that crazy guy in the cell who like was captured at one point by the Covenant and got away. The other thing, and I don't know if this is quite a spoiler, it's a question that I have, is I keep wondering if John and the girl that's on the Covenant side, if they're related. Like I'm trying to rectify why they're the blessed ones, and I know that's going to obviously get explained throughout season 1 at some point, but like I wonder if maybe that's his sister, or like, you know, I'm like wondering what their connection is. I know some of that gets kind of teased a little bit in episode 3, but 2 is great, man. I like that they brought the little boy in that was Soren's son, and how he made the Master Chief like kind of skeptical with like the little smiley face, very cute, right? But just really trying to build a story, an argument, if you will, for why the Master Chief is going to defect from this only thing he's ever known. You know, and then we get into episode 3, we get to see the backstory of the girl, and I can't remember her name. I'm sorry, I'm blanking on that character's name. But I like what they're doing. I was very intrigued by the monster that she brought on the ship, the like worms. Like I don't remember that character from the Halo series, and so I'm curious what that is, because there was a part where it was like a leg, and then the rest of the time it was just worms and stuff.
I thought maybe when I first saw it, it had something to do with the Grave Mind, but not after it.
No,
yeah, and I thought about that too.
What are the big ones called? The big ones that you had to fight, with the hulking armor, and they shoot the green laser at you.
Like the flood ones. No, I don't know.
No, gosh, Chance, you don't remember? I can't. I'm gonna have to look this up. All right, keep going. Sorry.
Anyway, but I also really liked, as we got in episode 3, obviously Cortana was an amazing addition, and I really think the best story that's going to come isn't even going to come from the Covenant stuff. I think that's going to be ancillary and still really great, but the whole issue between Halsey and her mother and Cortana and Master Chief, because I thought that was a very interesting thing where he basically really, a spoiler warning, hates Cortana. Like he's very skeptical. He keeps telling her like, get the hell out of here. And she's like trying to introduce herself. She's just trying to be like a nice AI. And I think that's so, because she's also like playing both sides a little bit. Like she's reporting to the doctor and still working with Master Chief. And like at some point she's going to have to choose sides. I'm assuming she's going to choose the Master Chief sides. But great, man. Like I really am enjoying it. I despite some concerns in episode 1, I think they're doing a great job. And every time it finishes, I'm like, sweet, I want to watch the next episode. So I'm excited, man. So back to you, Dan. What do you think?
Let me jump in, Chance. So it's the hunters. And if you look at the picture of the hunter, the big giant hunters, they have like an orange, like squiggly skin, but they're covered in all those giant arms. Look up a hunter from Halo.
Okay, no, you're
so I'm
right.
like, maybe, yeah. So maybe they're showing it like this is when it's all apart, but then this is I don't know. Who knows? Maybe it's just a different Covenant species. But on that note, I do still think the Covenant elites look great. I think the prophets look. You don't like the elites? I think the
prophets look absolutely incredible.
Yeah,
the
prophets look really good.
They look like kind of fat and just not like I was expecting. I think their faces
they look all right.
Yeah, I think they look good.
But their not compared to the prophet. Not after I saw that prophet. Yeah. I was like, oh my goodness, really those look real.
Yeah. So I still think those are good. But on Jose's note, what I loved about episode 3 absolutely was this introduction of Cortana. How she was created was really cool. How they used like
that was crazy.
Oh, and they showed I don't want to get any like spoilers about the eyeball scene and everything. And I was like, oh gosh, man, that really.
I was like, are they gonna do it?
But
we pan away.
And we also got some Chief action too, but we'll skip that. But
you're talking about that toned butt. You must work out.
The whole Cortana dynamic, as soon I knew it was coming soon, and I loved how they kind of slowly built up to it. And then when they showed it for the first, everyone was freaking out about it. I think it's great. I think, to me, when you have what's her name again, Jen Taylor's voice as Cortana, I'm like, man, this is awesome. And I love the kind of comedic banter that they have between him and John 117. And I can't wait to see how their relationship grows, because like where we are in the series or in the video games, like he would do anything for Cortana, even to this day, spoilers. And so I'm really, really excited to see where it goes. And I can appreciate, like Jose said, we could have crazy action every episode. And I'm like, wow, when are they going to shoot some, BRs and some kill some Covenant?
That's going to come. They're
exactly
clearly building to that.
Exactly. And they are building to that. And I appreciate how 3 just grabbed me right back. Like to bring in, they timed it perfectly to bring in Cortana And I wanted to say, I think Halsey, her as an actress, she's doing a really good job. And I also really like Miranda Keys. I think she's a good actress. Like I really am interested to see what her role is going to be in the show. And I was never into Keys in the games as much, you know. And so I just wanted to give a shout out to both of them. I should look up their names, but whoever's playing Miranda Keys and Halsey, I think they're doing a great job. And I also think that Pablo Schreier, is that his name?
Yeah, he's doing great, dude. He's been awesome.
I think he's a great chief. I remember a lot of people were freaked out about it. I love how he's portraying, or his portrayal of the Master Chief. So, Bubble Boy, give us your thoughts on episode 3.
There was one thing that neither of you mentioned that I was kind of disappointed in, and it goes back to the lady who's talking to the prophets and working with the prophets. When they showed her scene, they mentioned something about a grunt, and I was so excited to see their interpretation of grunts. But then it was an elite that came over, and I was like, I was either they just, there's no way they just messed up, right? They don't actually think those elites are grunts, or B, they were talking about something else. I hope they show the grunts.
Oh, they will. And are you talking about when Miranda Keys was talking about the grunts?
No,
it was on the trash
because
can.
I thought
they heard the grunt noises, and they were like, "It's the grunts," and then the elite showed up. That's what it was.
Oh,
the
yeah, they
boy
were
or
just.
her, she was
I'm sure
like,
they
"It's the
just
grunts."
didn't know.
And knowing,
and I
how
think they
much,
tied back to that. Sorry, Chance. When I liked how Miranda Keys is like, this wasn't grunts over the comms. Like they cut off those comms, or like they're much more. They do. I think the grunts are going to be like some sort of cool reveal, right?
I hope so. And because, like Jose was saying, this is a TV show. It's not a game about action. Like they have to get. I think they will get the grunts right in terms of the banter and the comedy, and like I'm really, really excited, and I like the little sprinkles that they're leaving for these things. Right? I totally agree that right away was the right time to take his helmet off, but they're sprinkling in the halo rings a little bit. They're giving you breadcrumbs for the halo rings, which I think is really cool. And we're just anticipating, right, that as long-term fans, we're like, I can't wait to see the ring, can't wait to see the ring. But there's so much going on that I don't feel the need to rush there. And now I really want to see the grunts. And after you said it, I'd love to see a Banshee.
I could totally see them not even getting to the ring this season. Like that could be like the season ender, and that's season 2. I also thought I wanted to mention, since you mentioned the little like sprinkles here and there, it was cool how she had like a mini energy sword on her nail. That was like the first not game thing that I was like, ooh, they could do some really cool stuff with some of this. So I'm excited to see more for sure.
And I just said Banshee. That's not at all what I meant. What was the big one
I
you
was
just
like,
said?
The ghost?
Hunter.
Jeez, yeah. But all those things, right? We've
Oh,
seen
all
Pelican.
of them, yeah.
We haven't seen
Pelicans are great. We've seen
Warthog. Yeah,
we've seen kind of Warthog, but like not in battle
look
though.
good. The battle rifles look good. I will say. I was trying to see when the captain or whatever who was shooting that pistol. I didn't get a good look at it if it looked like the Halo.
When the Master Chief shot it and he put it on his hip, it looked rad. Okay. Remember that was great.
Yep.
Okay, and so
and then the only other thing that I was curious about, and I love Halo, and I felt like I knew almost everything there was to know about it. The whole Cortana being a clone of Halsey, that's not canon, is it? Is that from the games?
Yeah, I thought that it's.
You mean I don't think she was a clone. It was her based on her mind, but it wasn't a clone. And
yes,
I also
it
thought
was. That was her.
No, we're saying in the games.
In the games, it wasn't. No, you're right. You're right. In the games, it wasn't.
Because in the show, she's like, "How do you feel now that you're staring yourself in the face and you're about to murder yourself?" Like I was.
Yeah, it was pretty messed up because the clone didn't see it coming either, and I was like, "Oh man."
No, she kind of did.
She
though.
did.
Like the way she was
that's
talking.
That's literally what she said. She's like, I have these memories because they're yours.
Right.
How are you going to feel when you have to kill me? When you have to look at yourself in the face and kill yourself?
She didn't care.
And then that creeper dude,
cold.
right?
Oh yeah, that guy's creepy.
Oh, I wonder.
Yeah, what's going on with him?
Stop that. There's got to be more that'll happen there, and otherwise, like,
there it is, you guys. We're all interested now. Go watch the show. If for some reason you're listening to this and you haven't seen it, it is worth your time so far. Get through episode 2. 1, you'll be like, 2, you're gonna be like, oh gosh. But for me, 3, I'm like, oh, I can't wait for the next episode. So awesome Halo impressions. And Chance, you also wrote the Declassified. I haven't watched any
so
of that.
those are like the after show kind of things. They do some interviews with
Sydney
Pablo
Goodman.
and
she's great.
And they're really good. I enjoyed watching them because it just gave little extra pieces about like all the workout routines that they were doing and how much they like just did together to become a team. Those four Spartans, and a lot of it's filmed in Budapest, which I think is really cool.
Oh, I
That's
have,
a beautiful place.
and it's
Budapest
really
is
cool.
beautiful.
I think I told you guys this. I had a random guy watching my streams when I was doing the workout streams randomly who was out there. He was one of the extras in filming. His name's Dodo. And I don't think I ever showed this for I don't know if I should say this. He sent, well, I guess I can now. The show's out. He sent me pictures
I
of,
feel like I remember you saying something.
yes,
You told me this, and that
yeah,
on the
yeah. He
slide.
sent
no.
sweet. Yeah, well now I can share it because the show's out. He sent me pictures of like the chief, the stunt double, like that set where the first episode takes place in the town or whatever. Totally could see that there. He showed me the video of one of the explosions happening. So cool. So I got to reach out to Dodo. Dodo, you gotta. I don't think you're listening to this, but I'm gonna send you an email, make you listen to this because it was
Get him
awesome.
on the show, bud.
Get on,
That'd be a quick-
exactly. We got
a
to
little
get him on
5-minute
the
spot
show.
would be dope.
Oh no, he would take up the whole episode on it. He said he trained. You were saying, Chance, like they trained big time.
They
He was just
did
extra
incredible
for that
amount
scene.
of training. Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
guys, go watch it. I just watched the second episode of Moon Knight, by the way. I like it, but I'm like, okay, it's getting a little hectic. We'll talk about that another time. So excellent impressions on the Halo TV series, guys. It's worth your time. Watch it. I will say though, I'm not impressed with Paramount Plus as a service. My stream quality is pretty good. I don't know if you guys have noticed any like skipping or buffering or anything. I don't like how I'm getting random ad breaks. Like
Yeah.
it'll go to a black screen. If you
I
didn't
don't
go
love
for
that.
that other one, are you guys seeing an ad every time? Like I
Oh, yeah.
purposely said I'm gonna pay the $9 just so I don't have to do that. Still got an ad at the beginning of the show, and I'm like, I don't like this, guys. I'm paying you for a reason. So whatever. We'll move on from Paramount Plus. Chance, lead us into Xbox news for the week. Not too much crazy news stories. And why don't you tell us what we're going to talk about here?
Yeah, so the first one comes from Kotaku and from the writer Zach Zwiesen. So he did the review on Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga, which I think was a perfect palate cleanser after playing Elden Ring. And so if you've never played any of those games, it's gonna be kind of hard to understand all the hype that I'm about to throw its way, but I just absolutely love these games, and this was like the peak of what they've done. But anyway, so one of the things that he talks about that I didn't know about this game, and I'd just be curious what you all's take is. So he says, as reported by Polygon earlier this year, this latest LEGO game was created by a team that allegedly had to put up with unhealthy, stress-causing workloads and whose concerns often got ignored by management. It's easy to look at a game this cute and silly and just assume it was made in happy, music-filled candy factory, all the workers laughing as they one-up each other, creating the series' trademark jokes. But that's just not the reality. And while I don't think folks should be punished, oh my gosh, I just got a Tasteful's kitty cat dinner ad that covered my entire screen. Edit that, Dan. But that's just not the reality, and while I don't think folks should be punished for enjoying this game, I also appreciate and respect people who decide not to play it. It's a caca situation and one which TT Games needs to avoid in the future for the sake of its own devs. And we've talked a bunch on here how and this game was delayed what felt like 1 billion times, and I would have been okay with it having 1 billion more. I didn't know this side of it, but I was really interested in your guys' take on that one sentence of, I don't think folks should be punished for enjoying this game. I also appreciate and respect people who decide not to play it. Do you think it's almost like a slap in the face to those people after they worked that hard to say, I'm not going to play your game? Because that company's going to make their money either way. And to me, my take on, well, actually, I want to hear your guys' takes first on, like, do you think it's more respectful to, like, boycott a game or get,
I'll go first, Jose. On Sacred Symbols, shout out to Sacred Symbols, I'm wearing their shirt, of course. They had a similar discussion a few weeks ago about the Harry Potter game and about how, what's her name? The writer?
Rowling.
J.K.
J.K. Rowling.
Rowling.
J.K. Rowling. Is it Rowling or Rowling? Who knows?
Rowling.
How she said some like transgender comments and like how people are
Transphobic.
okay. that's sorry, transphobic, and how people are going to boycott the game because of that. And their argument was, or I guess I should say Colin's argument was like, she's already made billions and billions of dollars. They're going to make money on this anyway. It's not going to hurt her if you don't buy this game. If you are a fan of the franchise and it is something that she's created, despite what she has said, that doesn't mean that if you go buy this because you want to enjoy something that you're passionate about, it doesn't mean you're saying I'm supporting her or her ideas. So I would say if you're a fan of Lego Star Wars and you've been looking forward to this game, you shouldn't feel guilty for buying the game and enjoying it. Well, if if the people working on it didn't have the best working conditions and things will change. You're like Chance said, they're going to make their money regardless. And unfortunately, there's really not too much you can do. I mean, I guess you can like maybe, and he was saying maybe buy the game and then make a donation towards transphobic, anti, something like that. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, not to transphobic people, but to support
yeah,
causes that support transgender
yeah,
needs and stuff like that. Yeah.
exactly. So that's what I was trying to say. Thank you, Jose. So make a donation in their name or something like that. So to me, if I'm looking forward to a game and I hear about bad stuff, I feel awful. I think that would be a good compromise. Like you go buy the game, make a donation or something like that. Jose, what do you think?
I agree with you both. I mean, the truth is, like you said, companies that are this big, not buying the game doesn't necessarily send that message, because people could also not buy the game because they bought something else or because they lost their job. It doesn't, like, just not seeing sales doesn't mean like, wow, we should have treated our employees better. They should absolutely do that. But there are other ways to kind of get that message across. And the hope is that at least you get that exposure to say, with these, look what we created in these horrible conditions. We're not going to do that again. At the same time, like I've said many times, what people do in this community, in this industry, they consider it their art. And so I really think, despite the conditions it was created in, people want others to enjoy that art. They want to be able to say like, oh, did you see the joke in level 3? That was my joke. I got to put, like, the pride that you get from that stuff is important. And so while it's really unfortunate that we have to hear more and more of these stories of not great conditions, I mean, here's the other reality. And I'm not trying to just say this is all about us or about me. You think about in our own schools, right? Conditions that some of our teachers are in, right? That are not great and not fair, and they probably should get paid more. And yet at this end of the day, like, we still are going to graduation this year, right? We're still going to help kids come Monday because that's our job. Like, it's kind of a similar thing. It's not great, but we have to get through it. And the hope is that just people can fight their own internal battles along the way and hopefully better themselves and put themselves in better positions. And, in the meantime, obviously we get great games that we enjoy, and like Bubble Boy, I've played quite a few of the Lego games, not as many as he has, but I'm grateful that we have them. Just want to see it better for everybody, I guess. I don't know really where I'm trying to go with this, but I ultimately agree with you guys. I don't think that boycotting the game is going to send the message. They're going to make their money either way, and I'd rather support the people that created it in that way.
No, and you read my mind, because I was trying to think like, what is the equivalent for us in our field, and it's hard to make the same equivalent. But I'm glad you brought up that artist thing. I think I would be really disappointed if I put my blood, sweat, and tears into something and was like treated so poorly during it, and then nobody played it, right? And then nobody, it'd be like cooking a meal that you burned your eyeball out for, and then be like, I'm just gonna throw this meal in the trash. Like no, we should eat that. So it'd be really, I'd love to, I haven't seen anything from any of the developers about what their thoughts are, but I think just making a blind, like, I'm gonna boycott it, isn't really solving a problem.
Um, any other thoughts on this, you guys? I was just gonna say that.
No, I don't, no, nope.
Okay.
I just want to ask Chance, how far are you into the game, if without spoilers? Like, are you like, what
Oh,
percentage?
he's been putting in work. He's been putting in work.
Yeah. And Cora's playing it with me. It is not easy for a 5-year-old with tiny hands. She still has it has a totally different view. It's more of a third person view than any
Like
of the
over
other
the
games
shoulder,
have
right?
been.
Is what I
Yep.
heard.
Yep. And so you have to use the left and the right thumbstick in unison, which is really, really difficult for her. So she's been playing a little and watching a little, but I'm about halfway through episode 2, and I started at 1. So Each
okay.
episode like movie is like 5 levels long, so not
Okay.
super far. And then we're
I have a
watching the movies together too. So
oh, that's cool. I
That's
have a
cool, man.
confession. I've never played a Lego game.
I know. Yeah, they're fun. They're
No,
genuinely
I'm sure
fun.
there's. This one looks like if any of them, I should play, I should get. And also, shout out to X Bacon Gaming. He told me he picked this up chance on release, and he's loving it. So,
It's
uh,
great. If
yeah,
you're a fan of Lego or a Star Wars, I think it was, gosh, who was it said the other day that like, if you love Lego, it's a dream come true. If you love Star Wars, it's a wet dream come true. Like, if you love them both, like it is really well done, and you got to try it before you start knocking it. It'll go on sale not terribly long from now, so.
see, the thing with Legos, chances I'd rather just build them. I'd rather have some really cool sets in front of me to build right now.
You
Like
get to
that's the
do some
dream.
building in there.
Yeah,
But
you
they
get to do some of that in the
Oh,
games.
that's not, what I mean, physically tangible building. But
I
anyway,
know.
too bad I can't buy Legos because they're $800 a set. Let's hear the next story there, Chance, on Epic Games shows off the next generation of video game graphics. That's State of
Yes,
Unreal
and
showcase.
I am very excited for this because I am a graphics whore and I have my OLED and my Series X and all that. And so I do. The graphics and the visual fidelity really does matter to me. And so this, again, I must have only been looking at Kotaku this week, but from Ari Notice, one of the things, so he says Epic's State of Unreal live stream was against all expectations you may have about a marketing event. Actually kind of cool if you're a visually oriented person. Ostensibly, this showcase was meant to promote the full release of Unreal 5. Throughout the stream, Epic lifted the hood on how the engine works and what exactly it can do. It's all very impressive if you're into the fidelity horse race that makes up next gen graphics. And then it says you can watch it, which is pretty cool. The thing that I was excited to see more than anything about it is the companies that said they're going to be using it for their next games. And so the big one was CD Projekt Red, said the next Witcher game will be on there. And Crystal Dynamics are going to do Tomb Raider reboots that will be used for that engine. And I haven't looked at a single thing after that. I saw Tomb Raider reboot and I just closed my eyes and ears because I want it. I don't know when I'm ready to hear it, but does this mean a reboot of the reboot, or they're rebooting for the third time? Is it what? Does anybody have any idea what that means in that
No,
context?
I'm just hoping that it's. I liked the last trilogy. Maybe
I
it's
did
kind of
too.
like maybe they'll age her a little bit and continuing on. You're right. Why would they? I don't understand why you would reboot the recent Tomb
It's
Raider
not that
trilogy. Those
old.
games just came out. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
they were basically all last generation, really, because the first one came out on 360, but it was still like right before the Xbox One PS4 launched, and it came to that. And then the last one was just like what, a couple
Oh,
2019,
and
right?
it
I
just
think.
got its Series SX update too. Like not long.
I,
That's
Yeah,
when I bought the
just recently.
trilogy again. So
and I'll say the graphics things, Chance, is I like graphics, but I think I'm becoming more of a it's got to play well first, and the gameplay is king. I'm not as much of a graphics guy as I thought, and we kind of mentioned that with like Forza Horizon 5. Super beautiful game, but am I really seeing it that much when I'm flying by and I'm just trying to get this stupid bonus board or something? Like I'm not stopping and truly appreciating the graphics. And then there are times where I've noticed even playing Elden Ring, like I've stopped and took some photos. You'll take some too, and like that game's good looking, but it's not like incredible by any means. I think it more comes down to art style maybe, and I think I've just become way more big of a fan of gameplay. But art style can take it a long ways. Like even though Psychonauts 2 isn't the best looking game, I still think it's incredibly unique and incredibly gorgeous in its own way, even though it's not like Ratchet and Clank or something like that. So, Jose, what are your thoughts on the graphics thing
Oh, so I have a
on
lot to say
Unreal?
on this actually too. So I'm glad you put this in there, whether it was you, Dan, or you, Chance. So quickly about the Tomb Raider thing, what they said is they're making another Tomb Raider game. They did not actually use the word reboots. The article said reboots,
the
just saying that
oh,
Crystal
okay,
Dynamics did the former reboots.
gotcha.
Some just some quick banter I've read about on the internet about this says that some people are thinking that what Crystal Dynamics might do is what they did with God of War, where they make Lara a little bit older, a little bit wiser, and then she's training like a protege, which could be kind of cool. I don't know if that'll actually pan out or not. Again, I agree with both of you. I really liked the new reboots. I thought they were really fun, really engrossing. And what's really cool is a lot of people actually use the newest one, Shadow of the Tomb Raider, to as like a graphic like testing block. Like they get a new PC and they're like, all right, push up the graphics on Tomb Raider and see how it works. Like it's like used for testing because it's that big already. And so with Unreal Engine 5, I think there's just a lot of really, really cool things with it. They actually showed a demo for a first-person shooter game that anybody can download, and that you not only get to play the game in the Unreal 5 engine, but you can actually, if you're playing on PC, edit it and like see how Unreal Engine 5 works. And that's the part that has been so mind-blowing for me and excites me, because I'm actually with you, Dan. Like most of the time when I play, I don't play on high graphic mode. I play on high like gaming mode, and I appreciate it. I love when things look pretty, but I don't always stop, like I should, and appreciate it. What I really like though is that they are really touting this as not only something that's beautiful, but it's actually very, very easy relatively to build, right? Like I saw a demo where a guy was taking that first person shooting game and he goes, I just want to show you how like all of this can be rendered in engine in real time. And he was doing it like right there in a demo. And then he'd go back into the game and play it, and it's like in there. Like I've never built a game. I don't really know that much about building it, but I can only imagine it's a very, very time intensive process. And it's just showing how much these engines have grown and changed, where it'll really just allow creative freedom for developers, that's what really excites me. And I also like they showed the demo from the Coalition, which looked like something from a Gears game that looked unbelievable. It looked like, remember that Final Fantasy movie, not Advent Children, but there was the one like The Spirits Within, where like, yeah, it was a terrible movie, but the graphics were insane.
Oh, of course, Chance remembers that. Of course,
that's like where we are now in the gaming space, which is pretty cool. And I don't know, do either of you play that Matrix demo like over Christmas? It was in the fall.
downloaded it. I haven't booted it up yet.
So I did play it because I always loved the Matrixes. I didn't love number 4, to be fair, but I was like, I feel like I got to check this out. It was awesome. Like, dude, some of the scenes where you're in like a car chase and they're like talking in the car, like, yeah, you can tell a little bit that it's a computer scene, but everything else looks immaculate. And what's crazy about that is that what was challenging is they're literally recreating Keanu and Carrie Moss. So like actors that we know their faces. If they were actors or characters in a game who we didn't know that were new, I would have just assumed they were real. It looks 100% real. And what was also really cool was there was a part of that demo where after the car chase, you're just walking around and you can like fly around the city, and like everything is like alive in the city at all times. And you can get up to like a brick in the wall and it looks perfect, which just like, that's insane to me. Like because just we remember gaming on like 16-bit games, right? Like I remember thinking that like Donkey Kong on Super Nintendo with its like quasi 3D graphics was like, it's never going to get any better than this, right? And now here we are, we're basically crossing that threshold of real. So very excited, man. And to be fair also, if anyone listening is not really like, what are you talking about the engine? We're talking about basically the code base on which a game is written. There are lots of them, right? Different engines are for different games. Like there's the Frostbite engine, which is what like Battlefield uses. There's all
He
kinds
who
of
shall not be named.
we don't talk about DICE and the Frostbite engine.
Sorry.
You
There are
can
lots of
say
different
it,
engines,
yeah.
but Unreal has been around for a long time. They've been working on this for a long time. And
Havoc.
Havoc engine's another one. If you don't watch the whole keynote, and you don't have to, just go watch a couple of the trailers, and you have to admit it's pretty impressive what they're building instantly in their computers. You know what I mean? Like it makes me excited for the future, basically.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm excited, man.
I can't wait for the next Gears because they always push the boundary, and I'm not necessarily the biggest Gears gameplay fan, but I'm enjoying the stories, and I can't wait to see what they do tech wise because they always push the tech. Go look at the Slipspace engine from Halo. There's another one for you, guys. I just wanted to close this graphics discussion with do you think it's gonna really get any better though? Like, haven't we kind of reached a point where graphics do look really good right now? Like, what is it really that important, Chance, that you get even better graphics where it looks more human? Like for me, I'm all about, I'm loving the super fast loading, get rid of the load times, give me those high frame rates. Like I've grown to appreciate stuff like that more than the intense graphic look. So tell me.
For sure. I think you're right. But I think also like going back to the jump from 360 to Xbox One, I was like, what are they going to do after this? Like, are they really going to, how is it going to get better? And even when Series X and S were announced, I was like, what more are they possibly going to do? But you're right. It's the load times. I'm sure there's things we're not even thinking of right now, like quality of life things that 10 years from now will be like, how did we play video games like that or before that? That just, we don't even know what they are. And like Jose said, though, because I have seen little bits of these, it's pretty cool when you really don't know the difference between what's a real life thing and what was computer generated. So,
No, I hear you.
I love it. So does my
I like
OLED.
how you said it there, the quality of life things. I think that's going to be another big step. And also, I've been hearing maybe like artificial intelligence is going to get better and how things interact with you and stuff like that. So great job, Unreal. We're big fans. Keep making those great games. Chance, very quickly, I just wanted to share, what was it? The Halo.
See, do you want me to read it?
There's a tweet for it?
So yeah, there's a tweet
Oh, okay. Yeah. Sorry.
from the
Just
Halo
from the
official
Halo,
account.
From the Halo account.
Prepare to join the hunt. Spartans Season 2 of Halo Infinite arrives on May 3rd. Hashtag Halo Lone Wolves. Lone Wolves, gear up for Season 2 of Halo Infinite. Experience fresh content, including new maps, modes, themed limited time events, and an all-new battle pass that never expires. Like an idiot, I scrolled down too far when I was scrolling just to see. I only wanted to see the tweet from then. And of course, the first tweet on there is somebody just talking smack and trolling Bonnie Ross and Frank O'Connor. And it just upsets me. Like, great. They took their time with this. I love that I got a little break from Halo and got to play Elden Ring. And now I'm going to get to jump back into it with like a refreshed eye
Yeah.
for it. But still,
Snelling's going to be so pumped.
right? Like what do people expect? Like, is that what the next jump is? You
Yeah.
can make a game overnight. Like, I just don't see it. I don't get it. And the stuff that they haven't released a ton, but they have shown some of the new armors, and you can obviously see in the tweet what some of the new levels are going to look like. And I'm happy. It's more.
Yeah.
God, I can't remember how much money I paid for this. Do you guys remember what it cost?
It was pretty significant, I thought. Maybe I could have been wrong, though.
$1,000. I don't remember. And so I think
It's like
I'm
1,000 minus 1,000, right?
yeah. Oh, yeah. $0 that I'm getting all this more content.
That's
for
a great
that
point.
I'm
That
just
makes me so
excited.
mad. Like, people forget that. Like, what do you want? Do you just want to play it every, like you said it so perfectly. We played it hardcore for a couple of months there, 3 months, and then we've been able to enjoy some awesome games that have come out in February. It's going to be a great change of pace. I just wanted to see if you guys are going to go back. We're all going back.
Oh,
I
for
can't wait.
sure.
Hell
It's
yeah,
going
we're
to be
going
great
back.
to go back and then have a new battle pass, see what they're giving us, see the new maps. And Halo is always going to be a game that you can jump into every now and then. I don't
Always.
like this
Yep.
this argument where, like, oh, if you're not playing it every night, the game's dead and you hate it and you're not a fan of Halo. Like, anyway, let's just move on.
That's
Snelling,
what I remember hating about 5. That's why I stopped, because I remember putting it down for a couple months and jumping back in with all the F boys, and I was like, this isn't even fun. I haven't had fun for like 3 nights in a row. That is not the case here, and I'm just excited. And May 3rd, great.
Yeah. And Halo Infinite is just a great game at its base, and so the content will come. It's been 6 months by the time this will come out, but come on, it's a fantastic game. Let's see where it goes. They can only add to it at this point, so it's only going to get better. So Jose, really quick.
No, I was just going to say, I remember thinking back in January when I basically finished the battle pass and I was like 70% through the Tenrai armor, because that's really the only armor other than stuff in the store that I've been really like, I want all of the Tenrai armor. And then Elden Ring came out and I was like, okay, it's okay. I'll put Halo down for a little bit, and just like thinking like May was so far away. Like I was like, oh man, it's going to be forever before we're back on here. And now it's around the corner and I'm like, this is great. And I did actually jump back in at like 2 weeks ago to get the rest of the Tenrai armor, one of the events.
Yeah, I saw you on.
And just, I think it's great, man. Like, I'm so pumped to get back in and see everyone again. Like not just the social piece of it, but also the game itself. And even when I jumped back in for that Tenrai armor, like I hadn't played it literally in 2 months, and it just came right back, right? And I was getting the kills, and I did my objectives, I got the
fun.
things, and then I went straight on to what I wanted to do. Like people are just complainers, man. I think they always will be, to be fair. But it's great. I'm excited to see what they're going to do. Excited for some more maps, right? Like some of the ones, I think they're redoing some of the old ones that I just remember loving from like 2 and 3. So excited to have all those back, man. It's going to be great.
Yeah, I can't wait. And hopefully co-op will come sooner than later. Let's close off with the final story, and I'll just read this very quickly here, Chance. Microsoft Store spring sale, hot deals on more Xbox games, gaming PCs, and more. The gaming sale, one of the greatest Microsoft Store gaming sales of 2022 is here. Kicks off today, and you can save up to 80% on select Xbox games. So this is for Snelling. I know you're going to go to the store, buy a bunch of games on sale because that's what you do. You have it's like the Steam sales where people would buy a bunch of games and then it's forever in your backlog and you never play them. You still have Titanfall, you still have Skyrim, you still have Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. Good luck buying more games that will go to your backlog and will never be played. I'm going to say this real quick, Chance, before I send it to you. I have no need to buy any more games. I have enough. I'm set. Can you guys think of anything else that we need to be buying or playing? Like, I have too much.
Yeah, probably not, but I did scroll through what apparently was 700 different deals, is what it says here. And literally, it was either the last one or the second to last one, Jose, is Zombies Ate My Neighbors, with whatever I think the sequel to it was.
Yeah, it's
with achievements and saves. So.
Oh, I don't know about achievements. Saves.
Yep.
They have the saves on the Switch version too.
Yep. So you might need to pick that one up for, I think it was $7. So, yeah. There's so many things on here, but yeah, I have an extensive backlog now because Tiny Tina's I had to put down, Weird West. I think what's that new
Tunic.
Japanese one?
You
that
guys
just came
need to
out?
play Tunic.
Or that comes out May.
Oh, I want to play Tunic too.
3rd.
Road to Yohi.
And then this will
Pass.
be maybe a topic for another day. When Snella comes on, I still haven't played the best baseball game on Game Pass, which is Super Mega Baseball 3. And I'm not joking. I know you're laughing.
Right. MLB The Show is also a
doesn't
Game
matter.
Pass.
Just came out.
So is Super Mega Baseball 3.
Guys, do we need to talk about what we've been playing? Because I don't want to go too long. You want to? Okay, so let's save the next. Let's just skip the good old days. Let's just talk about what we've been playing because I have a lot to say too. Sorry, Chance. Do you really want to do it? No,
It's fine.
We're not even at an hour yet, man.
Yeah, but it's fine.
Yeah.
We got a lot of things.
Yeah,
to
we
talk
got a
about
lot of
next
stuff
week.
we've been playing. So here's the thing I've been playing, you guys. I'm back into Elden Ring. It's ridiculous. I am on my PS5, the road to the platinum run. I am obsessed. I was itching, as soon as I finished the game, I felt something was missing.
Hold on.
Like,
You're not playing Mass Effect Trilogy?
No, I thought about Mass Effect
You
Trilogy.
bought
no.
Elden Ring again?
I bought Elden Ring again. I had $60 in my PlayStation account. I was like, well, it's a sign. I had probably bought it before at some point. And so I was like, you know what? I'm going back in. And guys, the game is incredible. I'm like at 30 hours. I'm already at, what's her face? The Millennia. And she just
In
destroyed
30
me.
hours, you got to Millennium?
Dude,
Dang.
I've been doing good, and I'm like 117 where you are, Jose. Like I've just been putting in work, but I got destroyed by her, so I don't know how I'm gonna beat her as this mage because I'm a little.
You're not fast enough, dude. That's
I don't
the
think
problem.
I don't think I'm leveled up enough. I think I gotta keep going. So, guys, Elden Ring, what a game! I'm back in. It's bad. I've been streaming it. Check me out, twitch.tv/DaddyDWALLY. I've been going on marathon streams now that everybody's gone. Baba Boy stopped by, said it was lonely and left, but that's...
I stopped by.
Pony
for like
said
6
it was
minutes.
lonely. Yeah, we were both there.
I gotta say, sucks playing without the paddles. There was one point, and it's on the stream. For the Volcano Manor, you have to go in the snowy area, and you have to kill that last boss. I was raging, Chance. Like I was freaking out because I couldn't look where he was, and roll at the same time because you have to take your fingers off the right thumbstick to roll. Freaking out, you guys. This is what I'm talking about. I am hating playing without the paddles, but I'm getting through it. So I have to say, back paddles, game changer. Like it was the worst. Jose, do you have any reaction to me playing Elden Ring, or do you want to tell me what you've been playing? And Bubble Boy, you are frozen. Oh no, camera is disabled. You're still there, Bubble Boy.
He's still there. He's not video.
Okay.
No, I mean, dude, I'm happy for you. Like you said, despite our complaints about the story and stuff, it is a fun game, and it is incredibly addicting. Like I know we've joked about it on the show, but I remember there were nights where I was like it'd be like 9 o'clock, and I'm gonna go to bed
And
at
all of a
11, and
sudden,
I'm like, okay, I can get pretty far, and I'd get like one part of one dungeon done, and I'd be like, oh my god, it's 11. I've barely beaten like 6 guys to get through. And then also, just quickly to mention, then I'll talk about what I've been playing. I watched another clip the other night about Doctor Disrespect, where his playthrough is so hilarious. And you know what it was? It's the room right before you play. What's this? What's the book lady? What's her name? You know what I'm talking
yeah,
about?
Renala, I think.
Renala. Right before you fight her, there's a someone who joins your game in that lobby below her. He's got like a long sword that you fight him in.
There's a
You know what I'm
I
talking about?
struggled
Like
with him. Yes. Yes.
you know what I'm talking, it's like one of those where they're like
oh yeah, there's a guy who attacks you there. Yeah,
It was him
right
playing
before
it,
the
and same
lift.
thing. He was like, "Oh, I'm gonna get this dude," and then he gets killed
Yeah.
like 60 times, and every
And then
time he's
didn't he
like,
leave?
"Yeah," and he's like, it's so like I was laughing out loud. Victoria was next to me, going like, "What are you laughing at?" I was like, "Babe, this is just this encapsulates what this game is like. This is literally what it's like to play." Anyway, I have been playing Weird West, right? So
No
I do
spoilers. No spoilers.
no
Tell us your
spoilers. I
impressions.
wanna because I want to play
I want to play that next.
Cyberpunk. That's my next big one, and I'll probably play it after this. Like I was gonna play Tunic in between, but I was like, no, I really need to play Cyberpunk. I'm gonna keep pushing it back. So, it's cool, man. I really like the art style. The controls took me a little bit to like really get the groove. I'm getting the groove of them now. Like because I found that one by default, the aiming one is too sensitive, and every time I try to hit a guy because they're also moving and you're moving, I just couldn't hit them, and so I turned the sensitivity down, and I'm doing much better. What's interesting about it, and this is not a spoiler, it's a story about 5 different stories. So like these are 5 different characters that all are supposedly intertwined, and I haven't encountered that yet, but they intertwine across the Weird West, but each one is separate. So like the first one, again, not a spoiler, is a lady looking for her husband, right? I'm not going to tell you anything else. I just finished her story, and now the second one, I'm a very different character that I don't want to say because it will spoil it, but it's very cool. The one thing I will say is I think if I played it straight through, like just objective, I could probably burn through it in a couple nights. I have been really taking my time and exploring lands and finding secrets and picking up weapons and collectibles and stuff like that. So it's going a lot slower than I anticipated. I might go a little bit faster now that I finished one story, just because the payoff was not what I thought. Because the one complaint I have right now, you have like inventory, you have perks, and you have abilities, right? The only thing that carries on between each of the stories is the abilities. Everything else you lose once you start the second one. So I like spent a long time in my first playthrough like leveling up all my weapons, and I was like OP'd by the time I got to the end, and then I lost it all. And I was kind of like, that's not very fun, because I probably could have finished that game with not doing that. So that's my only tiny complaint right now. But otherwise, really like it. They're cool little stories. It's definitely the story is drawing me in, and it's getting weirder, which I actually really dig. So I like the art style. I'm excited to finish playing it, and then I'm going to jump into Cyberpunk. That's what I've been up to. So
Nice, very nice. I can't wait. I'm gonna play that next. Bubble Boy, what about you? What have you been playing? Oh, Lego.
Yeah,
Besides
well,
that,
and I started Tiny Tina's Wonderland, which is great. It was exactly what I wanted, but I did have to put it down to play Lego Star Wars. I had no idea how big of a cast Tiny Tina's Wonderland has. It's got Andy Samberg, Ashley Birch, who plays Tiny Tina, she's hilarious, Wanda Sykes, Will Arnett, and a ton of other people. It's just so funny. It's a really, really good change of pace from what I was doing in Elden Ring, and then it's easy to kind of jump back and forth between that and Lego Star Wars, which I've loved. Lego Star Wars is great. It nails so many things, and it does them so well. The sound, like we talked about, was that just last week? I think about how important the sound is, or yeah, because we were talking about Halo, and they nail it. And honestly, I was doing some of the flying levels are not good. The one I just did though was better than any level I played on not Rogue Squadron, Star Wars Squadrons, that the new one that's on Game Pass from EA. It literally was, which I think for anybody who thinks it's too childish, like that should tell you all you need to know right there. It's so fun just getting all the characters, because there's over 300 of them, going around looking for those, using different people's abilities. It's great. I love it, and I get to play it with Cora. So
Very cool. Well, speaking of Star Wars, let's jump into the good old days. Chance, we won't skip it since you,
oh, I thought we were.
I'm
It's
sure, put it.
okay. It's
No,
fine.
let's do it. I can do it very quick because mine
Me too.
top 5 Star Wars games ever made. And I'll go first, Chance, because I've discovered I like Star Wars games, but I'm not like blown away by them when I really think about it. So, number 5, I have Star Wars Battlefront 2 2019. Some people hated this game when it came out, and yeah, I wasn't the biggest fan, but I do appreciate how it feels like Star Wars, and I didn't mind the short campaign. I kind of appreciated it that it was, quick to get through. Number 4, Star Wars The Force Unleashed. I put this there because I think I enjoyed it.
It was
But
cool when
I
you
think
pull the Star
some powers,
Destroyer
and
or
isn't
the
doesn't some certain main character make an appearance if I'm not mistaken, or you're
yes,
working for?
yes,
Okay,
yes,
so
yes.
that's what. Yes, number 3, Star Wars Jedi Academy. I think this was like either an Xbox game that I played or a PlayStation 2 game. Thought it was very cool because I got to create my own lightsaber, and I was picking some pretty cool colors with that and doing the Force powers. Number 2, Star Wars Shadows of the Empire on Nintendo 64. Probably the second best Nintendo 64 game. Love that game so much. Doesn't get enough credit. Should be canon. Do a remake, please, for the love of God. Oh God. Number 1, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. This game blew me away, but of course it was by, oh gosh, what's the name of the developer that doesn't miss that made Titanfall? Jose looked that up.
Respawn.
Respawn Entertainment, my gosh, they don't miss. Just a fantastic gameplay with the exploration, the wall running, the force powers, how it's Souls like. I kind of get it now. Just a fantastic. Yeah, I know. Not really actually when you really think about it. Maybe because do you lose experience? Maybe that's the only thing that's really Souls. Oh, okay, never mind. Loved Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. Got a thousand. Can't wait for the sequel when they announce that here in probably less than a month. So, Chipotle Bear, what about you?
Uh, Actually, a lot of similarities. A couple different ones. I actually put Battlefront 2 as my honorable mention, only because for those that don't remember back, it was very controversial because of microtransactions. It was one of the games that EA decided to really like stick it to the players once it came out. And what was a really big bummer about that, other than of course trying to take money, was that they had some demos come out of it early, and the demos were rad. They were super cool, and everyone was so pumped for them, myself included. And then, yeah, the campaign, it was fine in the end. But then once you got into some of like the multiplayer, they were really just sticklers about some of the stuff financially, and everyone was like, "That's ridiculous." And to be fair, it was at the early stages. Like now, a lot of games have microtransaction. It's much more common. Like if Battlefront 2 had come out now, I don't think it would have gotten as much heat as it did at the time. But it soured what would have otherwise been a really, really great release of a game. So I liked it, to be fair. I have no complaints. I didn't buy any of the microtransactions, so it didn't really affect me. It's okay. But my number 5 was Knights of the Old Republic. Which is it's just a classic old game. I know that we've talked about possibly like remakes or reboots and that kind of stuff. A sequel maybe in the future, which would be really cool. Just the idea that you really get this true RPG as a Jedi or a Sith, which is just really cool. I hope that they do that. And some of the bosses were really cool. Some people we had just never really seen because of when it came out in the movies and that kind of stuff. My number 4, Shadows of the Empire on a 64. I am not as fond of this game as Dan and his brother Pony are. They just, you know why? Because the controls
Banned.
sucked. They were so
Banned.
hard. Like there were so many times where like they had these little Jedi logos that were like spinning, and it was like a collectible you had to get all over the thing. And they would put them where they're like not impossible to get, but you'd have to be so precise with your movements and jumps. And I just remember falling down the cliff. And then I get back in and they falling down the cliff. Like that's just literally what I kept doing. So like that just soured it a little for me. But it was Dash Rendar was a dope character. I wish it was canon. I mean I would be okay with the reboot with tighter controls. Number 3, Force Unleashed 2. They did a lot of really great things that the first one did, and it kind of drew them out a little bit, but it was never as impactful as number 1, and that's actually why number 1 is my number 2, because like Chance said, there was that really cool scene, and spoiler, but it's very old now, where you literally as a person pull down a Star Destroyer, and like that's like a control thing you do in the game. And I really like that you got to find the Kyber crystals and build your own lightsabers, and like I was one of those guys that actually went and found the dark crystal, so I had like the black lightsaber before it was a thing in Mandalorian. Like Very cool, man. I really liked the game. It was fun to explore. It was fun to find those collectibles. Those controls were really tight. I like the progression system for your powers. Like, I just think it was very well done. I would love to see a Force Unleashed 3 on current gen. And then my number one, same as Dan, Fallen Order. Some of that is biased because it's a new game. It's one of the most recent ones we've all played. But it was really well done. The actor was really great. The story was awesome. I love that a lot of it was original. Some of the bosses were very, very challenging. Like, that was very Souls-like to me, where it was like you have to be so precise and get all of your hits, or else you're just not going to make it. So I appreciate it, man. I'm excited for. I'm pretty sure they'll do a sequel to that one. I'm excited for that as well. So those are my top five. And Chance, I know you have probably the best list. So
They're going to announce it,
It's
but let me
already.
interrupt Chance.
Go
Yeah,
ahead.
they're already working on it. I was just gonna say, Jose and I should probably preface this too. Neither of us, I don't know if Chance has played Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, which is
yeah, correct. I've never
on
played
some people's like greatest games of all time. So I have to say that I never played those games. I know Pony would. He's
Yep.
just
And
disgusted
Alan,
right now,
right?
and
They're
Alan are just
throwing
like, you
up
guys are
and
idiots. Yeah, but they don't listen to the show, so who cares? Go
My
ahead,
my
Chance.
roommate in college, my freshman year, real quick, and then I'll pass it to Change. I kid you not, I'm pretty sure he failed out because of Knights of the Old
Oh,
Republic.
I believe
Like,
it,
there were legitimately times,
Yeah.
and I'm not gonna say his name. I don't. He's probably not listening, but where like I would go to class like 8 o'clock in the morning, and I would come home at like 3, 4 o'clock, and he would
His name
still be
was
at his desk.
Miguel
No, his
Zapatista
name.
Miguel.
No, his name was
I know,
Alan
I'm kidding.
Pack when World of Warcraft came out. I kid you not. Like, that kid disappeared for months. Didn't see him all of my sophomore year in college. So yeah, I
Could
know
he
that
speak the
feeling.
orc language? Like, did he know how
Oh
to
my
translate
gosh.
it? That's how you know.
Chance, what were your top
So it's
five
funny.
Star Wars
It's
games?
funny you snuck that KOTOR thing in there because I was putting my list together and I was like, I can't not put this game on here. I have to put this game at number 5. I've played the opening, not level, but like opening maybe 4, 5, 6 hours, probably 15 times. Um, and I just can't continue it. I can't. It's so old and outdated, and I get it, and I understand why it's amazing, and I know the spoiler, and I still want to see it happen live. I just have such a hard time investing my time into it. I have it downloaded on my Series X and everything. I just can't bring myself to do it. The second
Well,
I'm able to play it on my phone with my backbone is where I'll do it.
we're getting the remake that's being done by that Run Random
I
studio.
thought
It's
that
a
was like
PlayStation
PlayStation.
5 exclusive. I think it's timed. It's timed. But I was gonna say, I feel your pain. It's really that bad, even with the
So
It's
updates.
not great, dude.
it is. It's not good. It's not that it's like clunky or not precise. It's just like the inventory management. It just shows its
Just
age.
old,
And yep,
yeah.
it
Gotcha.
just
The
really
Please don't say
graphics are
this.
just not
Please
there.
don't say the spoiler because I don't know it. I've
Are you
managed to
kidding
avoid
me?
this. Whatever. Yeah,
I know
no,
the
I
How have
don't.
you
spoiler.
ever looked at any
I don't
spoiler?
know.
It's the
I
top
don't.
of
I don't know. I don't
it
know.
beats
So
like
please don't
it
spoil it to
typically is
me.
like, oh, this is obvious. This is the number one.
Yeah, it beats Bioshock in a lot of
All of
lists.
them.
Okay.
Okay,
Well,
and then
thank God.
so I had that as number 5, even though I know I'm not supposed to, because I never played it. Pulling a Dan here. I skipped my honorable mention though. This is one nobody mentioned. Angry Birds. Star Wars Angry Birds is fantastic. I know, it's great. If you've ever played Angry Birds on your phone, it's just that with Star Wars universe, and it's great. So, number 4, Star Wars: The Force Unleashed. Don't have anything new to add that they haven't already said. Loved it. Loved having the lightsaber. Number 3, I had the original, not the original, so the 2015 Star Wars Battlefront. I do remember that being as close to something as we had from Battlefield 4. It obviously wasn't as good as Battlefield 3 or Battlefield 4, but it was close and it did a really good job. I will mention that I also liked 2. I didn't put it on here though because I only played the single player and just skipped the multiplayer altogether. Such a missed opportunity though, because talk about graphical fidelity, those were incredible.
Yeah, they were beautiful.
Yep. Number 2, and I haven't finished it yet, but I think it deserves to be up here, is the Lego Star Wars Skywalker Saga. I really do. It just has so much to offer. There is not. I don't think I've seen anything from Rogue One, and I don't think I've seen anything from like the Bad Batch and stuff. But past that, everything you could think of. When you're the Mandalorian, even though he isn't technically part of the 9 movies, trilogy movies, Baby Yoda follows you around. It's just good. It's amazing. And then, of course, rounding out the list, number 1, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. Just incredible. Loved it.
Great, good old days topic. I actually really enjoyed thinking about some of the favorite Star Wars. We need to talk about favorite Star Wars movies. Maybe that's what we should do next time. Guys, let's move into to how we close the show like we always do with the best food we had this week. And you know, I've been eating like crazy, so I'll go quickly very first. So, the 3 days that I've been alone, and chances like, how are you going to pick just one best food? Night one, Chipotle, that pollo asado, you guys, so stinking good.
Delightful.
Is
I'm
that a
telling you,
limited
add the
time? Do we
queso.
know? Is that
It better not be because I'm gonna have to
okay?
go every
I
day.
haven't
I think it's
had
like
the
a trial
courage-
run.
I haven't had the courage to look it up because I don't want to know the
Oh,
answer.
no. It better be permanent. Night two, Little Caesars, just a classic pizza. And then you add bacon, takes it up a notch. Loved it. And then today,
You
I
should have gotten the deep
tried-
dish. Jose was right. You should have
no,
gotten
I
the
hate
deep
You
dish.
deep
should have
dish.
gotten the
If
deep
anything, I
dish.
should have gotten stuffed crust. I thought about it. I was like, no. Chance, here's the thing. I'm trying to keep calories. The
Oh
whole
my
pizza was
God.
2,300
You don't
calories.
get
I
to
ate the whole
read
thing.
these
I ate
things
the whole
off
thing.
Yeah, you can't be like, I'm living my best
next
bachelor
up,
life and I'm worried about calories.
We're
I
adding
am.
bacon.
I'm trying to lose weight while she's out of town. I've been working hard. Day 3 today, I had 2 Whoppers, no tomatoes.
What was that you
So
just
there
said
goes
about
that
losing
goal
weight?
of losing
Yeah.
weight.
2 Whopper. I'll show you my
I
MyFitnessPal
took off
stats here.
all the vegetables. No
Oh my
vegetables
gosh.
allowed.
And then let me tell you, I had one of the new BK Whopper melts. Delicious. This is worth your time out there, you guys. Anybody listen, go try the BK Whopper melts. I was telling Chance before the show, it is worth your time. It was delicious. I'm going to go back probably sooner than later. I've been trying to diversify every day with what I eat, and so I'm going to have to go back to BK sooner than later. But the best food I had this week, you guys, shout out to Joseph over on the Trophy Room, a PlayStation podcast. He had mentioned at the beginning of the show.
Jersey Mike's,
He
did
had
you go?
Jersey Mike's. They're what the what's it called?
Cheesesteaks.
Philly
Philly cheesesteak sandwich. Guys, I randomly had that. Allie's brother came over Sunday and brought us Jersey Mike's Philly cheesesteak sandwiches. Amazing. Hands down is the best Philly cheesesteak sandwich I've heard. There's this local place right by her sister's house, or Allie's sister's house. They're like, oh, Tommy's has the best Philly cheesesteak. Caca doesn't even compare. The thing with the Jersey Mike's, they give you the meat, you guys, and they give you the cheese, and they have the red peppers and the onion. Phenomenal. Joseph, you were completely right about that. Shout out to Jersey Mike's Philly cheesesteak sandwich. Best food I had this week.
Did he
You know what,
mention anything else on that show?
No, we don't need to talk about how he Bubble Boy and 7 Caca.
Wins the internet. No, Dan, for the record, I want to try the Jersey Mike's, but one you need to try if you like Philly cheesesteaks is the one from
The chicken one.
Taste of Philly. It's over by Southwest Plaza. They have a
I
green
think I've
chili
had
Philly
it.
cheesesteak.
Oh, you mentioned this before.
Dude, it's so good.
You mentioned
dude.
this like a year ago.
I
at
know.
the beginning.
Go. I'm telling both of you.
I need to go this week. Okay, where's that? Southwest in the mall or
No,
near
it's
the
on
mall?
it's on the south side where like Once Upon a Child is. There's like a gaming store and a comic book store. Look up
Taste
those
of
and it's right
Philly.
next to it. Taste
I
of Philly.
think okay, got it.
All right, I'm gonna go next real quick then. So best thing I had this week, a couple things. We like I said, we went to Boulder today. I haven't had it in a long time. We went to Illegal Pete's, which is kind of like a Chipotle Qdoba if you're not in Colorado. Delicious. It was great to have. My wife got the potatoes and hers. She actually absolutely loved it, which is great. And then we came home today. The best thing I had right now, I'm gonna straight up say it. We made homemade pizzas. So a couple Father's Days ago, like 3 or 4, they got me a little pizza oven for our backyard. It's like propane heated. It's great. Chances had it. We'll have Dan over and have it as well. It's awesome. So we made pizzas tonight with my family and Claire in town and stuff like that. So it's been a delicious week of food and looking forward because this week we head to Disney World. So the next time, not the next time we record, because we're going to record before I go, but when I get back, we're going to have lots to chat about for food. So that's the best thing I had this week. Bubble Boy, why don't you round us out?
Yeah, so I had 2. One of them just today. It's springtime, which at Dairy Queen means the cotton candy blizzard is back. Don't even
Disgusting.
particularly care for cotton candy. However, what makes it great, it's the closest thing they have since the Nerds Blizzard. Rip Nerds Blizzard, rip Nerds Blizzard. That was one of the worst business decisions in the history of man. I don't care if they got sued 1,200 times for people breaking their teeth on Nerds Blizzards. I think if you're gonna get a Nerds Blizzard, you know what you're getting yourself into, and you should suck it up and enjoy your Nerds Blizzard. And
That's
I
a top
just
5 we need to do. Items that were removed from menus that need to come back. That's
yes,
a good one.
well then just Nerds Blizzards 1 through 5 for me. So thanks for that good old days. I'm done with it. The cotton candy's close. It's not the same. It doesn't taste anything like cotton candy, but it's up there. So, and then number one, and Eunice. Big shout out to Eunice, Lana's new boyfriend. He needs to quit his job, whatever it is. I don't know what his actual job is, but he is a chef extraordinaire for just her, and he made sourdough bread for her that she brought to school the other day. I don't know if you guys have ever had homemade sourdough bread. Like you have to have like your own strain of, or I don't even know what it is. It's something scientific. It's like making wheat or
yeast.
something too. Yeah, like there's only like 7 in existence or something, and you have like the grandfather of this one. I don't know. He had rosemary, garlic, and jalapeno cheddar homemade sourdough bread, and she just brought a stick of butter, and I can't even. It was like cake mixed with cupcake mixed with cornbread mixed with, it was savory, it was incredible, like melted in my mouth. So big shout out Eunice, keep up the good work.
Well, guys, that has been the best food we had this week. What a great diverse selection of food. By the way, Chance, who gets cotton candy?
I understand.
Blizzard? Was
up.
this amateur
Seriously,
hour? Like I was
no.
thinking, Jose,
You know
both of
what's-
these flavors. I'm like, thank
Both-
you. Like,
so
who goes to get those flavored blizzards?
We're
Jose,
driving
what is
over
going
there.
on?
We're driving over there, and I'm like, oh, I'm getting Reese's adding banana. Like that's
Cookie
gonna
dough.
be perfect. I usually do
Oreo.
cookie dough and Reese's, and I was
I like the
Reese's and
Butterfinger.
banana. You can't go wrong, right?
Heath
But
Bar,
probably-
all of them.
Listen up. Jen Ron. You remember Jen Ron. Of course you remember Jen Ron, right, Daniel? So her family, her husband and her own a Dairy Queen. And I always, I always used to get mad at her, like just jokingly, like, bring back the Nerds Blizzard. Like, how dare you? And she would bribe me to do things around the office for her, and she would go buy the Nerds and make Nerds Blizzards for me. And she's like, if you want, you can just get a cotton candy blizzard, and it's almost the same thing. And that was a few years ago. It was insider info, and I was like, because I would have never in a billion years have ordered it. And
I
so
think
what
it's
if-
settled. You need to
did
get yourself
you-
a Blizzard machine. Make your own.
Wow.
Your own
Did
damn
you add the
Nerds Blizzard.
nerds? Did you add the nerds?
I didn't have Nerds with me.
Well, then why would you do that? She literally.
No,
So she's saying that tastes like it with the nerds
yes,
in it.
and then she would bring me when she was still at Gateway. She would bring me her own like homemade, well, not
So,
homemade Dairy Queen made.
I can't
Nerds
believe I'm still
Blizzards.
talking about this.
Yeah.
So was the nerds flavor? Did it have its own flavor and then it had nerds in it, or was it just like vanilla with nerds?
Vanilla with Nerds.
Why can't you just do this on your own? Then why don't you just get like a base?
You don't have a
'Cause you
soft
have to have it
serve ice
mixed.
cream.
You have to mix it.
have like the right. I can't just
Okay,
get
so you
vanilla
go through the
ice
drive-thru
cream
and say, "Can
scoop
I get a
Nerds into
vanilla
it."
blizzard?" And they're gonna be like, "Okay." Then they're gonna give it to you, and then you just dump. Hey guys, look at this, and then you just dump your nerds into it. Be like, "Thanks for nothing," and then you drive off. Okay, there's the solution, guys. This has been Xbox Record This episode 49. We're almost there. We are a podcast celebrating all things gaming, food, and the good old days. My name is DaddyDWALLY. You can find me at DaddyDWALLY across all social media. Chipotle Bear, where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Chipotle_Bear. You can find me on Instagram at Chipotle Bear. And apparently you're going to find us all at Dairy Queen in the next couple of days getting a blizzard because that just sounds delicious right now.
Absolutely. And Bubble Boy and Seven, where can people find you?
I think I tweeted the other day. I don't remember. I think I did.
Thank you so much for listening to our show. Shout out to all those hardworking Dairy Queen employees. And as always, gentlemen, see you online.
See you online.
See you online.
You had better give up, senor. You cannot kill us all.
Nope. But I can clean your colon out quicker than one of them burritos with extra guacamole sauce.
Xbox Record This is a podcast created by Daniel Walenzik. You can follow him at DaddyDWALLY on all social media. The assistant to the co-host is Jose Martinez, and you can follow him at Chipotle_Bear on Twitter. The assistant to the co-host is Chance Siegel, and you can follow him at BubbleBoyN7. You can follow the show at Xbox Record This on all social media. If you'd like to find out more about the show, visit xboxrecordthis.com.